again.
I'm a big believer in brand. In fact, I believe in brand at an alphabetic level, at a DNA level. You know that old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, I believe a brand is worth a whole lot more. And this was hammered home when I was a young copywriter. I worked at McCann Erickson in Atlanta, Georgia, on a brand you might be familiar with called Coca-Cola. Back in 1990s, Roberto Gozueta was the CEO of Coca-Cola, and he said, all of our factories and facilities could burn down tomorrow, but you'd hardly touch the value of the company. When I initially saw this quote, I was like, okay, that's kind of theoretical. What does it mean? Until I realized, no, he's saying we could literally be producing 0 Coca-Cola tomorrow, and that wouldn't touch our brand. In fact, we could take the recipe, go over to some other bottling facilities, get back up and running, and while we might have a blip in our balance sheet for a quarter or 2 quarters, I would argue that by the end of the year, they would be a better, bigger, stronger brand as their brand fans rally around them. I like to say Coke is like grandma. She's acidic, she's sweet, she's a little bit both at the same time, and yet you love her, and anyone who messes with grandma is gonna get the entire family coming around. Why? Because we love grandma. Grandma is a brand as much as Coca-Cola is a brand, and people started messing with the Coca-Cola brand. That's exactly what I call brand misalignment. The brand is aligned like this. Oh, new Coke, boom, boom, boom. Guess what the market does? Force it back to what it was. Literally, when's the last time you had a can of new Coke? Moving on, let's talk about brand. We gotta get on the same page about this, because some people think brand's nothing more than graphic standards, the consistent use of color, logo, and type. Maybe there's a theme or a tagline that's all part of a larger campaign. That's brand, right? Well, it's a subset. But I believe brand is more like this. It's everything from the way you answer your phones to your CEO's public behavior. I believe in a form of branding I call nonfiction branding. And nonfiction branding is not a sticker you apply or a pair of shoes you tie on. It's who you are. I believe the essence of nonfiction branding can be distilled down to a bumper sticker. That bumper sticker reads, know who you are so you can be it. If you go to Barnes & Noble and distill the assembled wisdom of the self-help book section, distill all that down to a little seed crystal, that's it. If you know who you are and you are it, you'll be happier, healthier, more successful. Nonfiction branding performs a critical function, a handle. Does your company have a handle? Let me walk you through that. How many of you work directly with a brand? Rhetorical question, you don't need to answer. You all do. In fact, this is you, the person, the brand. And this is everything that makes you interesting, worth talking to, someone I should engage with. Well, guess what? You're a bit of a mess, unless you're a brand. Have you ever tried to pick up an overstuffed big suitcase without a handle? Well, how can you hand that off to someone else if you are like, oh, you gotta meet this person because they're really cool and they do this and they do this and they, whoa, that's too much stuff. Give me the shorthand. Why should I talk to them? They're really a great visual artist. Great. Now I have a handle for who they are. Every brand suitcase needs a handle. Is it too much to call it a brandle? Because having a brand enables asking a very critical question. Is whatever we're talking about on brand? On brand is an objective measure, not a subjective judgment. The #1 goal of personal branding is differentiation. Why? We're all gummy bears in this world, unless we're that red gummy bear. Brands tell stories, and when it comes to a battle between specs and story, guess who wins? Stories do. Why? Because we're human beings. We learn through story transmission and have since Og and Mog were around the campfire after the mastodon hunt, and they talk about Schlag, who died because he didn't put the spear in the right place. So how can I help you start creating your nonfiction brand?